Most people pick a city for jobs, rent, or vibes, and then spend half the year complaining about the weather. Too hot, too cold, too humid. Why do I live here? But what if the real upgrade isn't your salary? It's your climate. This isn't a fluffy top 10 nice places list. This is a data-backed, reality-check breakdown of cities where the weather actually feels livable all year. Not perfect on paper, perfect in real life. Here's what nobody tells you. Some cities on this list barely make headlines, but quietly outperform the fake ones. And one of them looks average until you see the numbers. Think you know the best weather city? Let's find out. We're talking about places where winters don't punish you, summers don't drain you, and your mood isn't held hostage by the forecast. But some of these picks will challenge your assumptions surprisingly hard. And trust me, you're not ready for what's next. Because choosing the wrong climate can mean years of discomfort, thousands of dollars wasted, and slowly losing your sanity to bad seasons. There's one city on this list that feels like a cheat code, but almost nobody talks about it. Hit subscribe, because this kind of information can change where you live. Always escape to. Number 10. Medford, Oregon. You shouldn't like Medford this much. But then you check the weather, and suddenly your standards shift. Tucked into southern Oregon's Rogue Valley, Medford enjoys a climate that quietly avoids most extremes. Summers reach the high 80s and low 90s, but the dry air keeps the heat manageable. Winters stay mild, with snow appearing more as an occasional visitor than a seasonal burden. What makes Medford stand out isn't excitement, it's comfort. The cost of living remains relatively reasonable compared to many West Coast cities. Housing prices have climbed, but the city still offers a level of affordability that's becoming harder to find. The biggest drawback? Wildfire season. Late summer can bring smoky skies and declining air quality, reminding residents that nature always demands a trade-off. Still, for most of the year, Medford offers something rare, whether that doesn't constantly demand your attention. You wake up to cool mornings, comfortable afternoons, and mountain views in the distance. No sweating, no shivering, just balance. The question is how long places like this stay hidden before everyone else catches on. Number 9. Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville is a city that sells you spring and fall, and then surprises you with summer. Located near the Blue Ridge Mountains, Greenville enjoys long stretches of pleasant weather, mild winters, and abundant sunshine. For much of the year, it feels remarkably close to ideal. Then humidity arrives. Summer in Greenville can feel intense, turning comfortable days into sticky afternoons where even a short walk becomes a workout. Yet despite that, people keep moving here. Why? Because Greenville offers a rare combination of affordability, opportunity, and quality of life. The downtown area is vibrant, the job market continues to grow, and the surrounding natural beauty creates an appealing balance between city and outdoor living. For roughly 8 months of the year, Greenville feels almost perfect. The remaining months test your relationship with humidity, and for many residents, that's a trade they are willing to make. Number 8. Prescott, Arizona. When people talk about Arizona weather, they're usually thinking about Phoenix. Prescott is what many people imagine Arizona will be before they experience Phoenix. Sitting at more than 5,000 feet above sea level, Prescott benefits from cooler temperatures that avoid the state's most brutal extremes. Summers are warm but cold. Winters are cool but rarely severe. Light snow occasionally appears, adding seasonal variety without creating major disruption. In many ways, Prescott feels like Arizona with moderation. The lifestyle, however, isn't for everyone. It's quieter, slower, and less focused on career growth than larger metropolitan areas. Many people move here seeking stability, outdoor recreation, and a calmer pace of life. And that's exactly what they find. The weather rarely dominates your day. It simply exists in a comfortable middle ground that many cities struggle to achieve. The trade-off? Opportunity may be limited compared to larger urban centers. But for those prioritizing quality of life, Prescott quietly makes a compelling case. Number 7. Santa Rosa, California. Santa Rosa may have some of the best weather on this list. It may also be one of the most expensive. Located in California's wine country, Santa Rosa benefits from a remarkably balanced climate. Summers stay warm without becoming oppressive. Winters remain mild. Humidity is rarely a problem, and extreme weather is uncommon. It's the kind of climate that feels almost engineered for comfort. And that's exactly why demand remains so high. Living in Santa Rosa often feels like you've discovered the perfect temperature setting and never had to change it again. The challenge is affordability. Housing, rent, groceries, and everyday expenses all remind residents that exceptional weather often comes with exceptional costs. Yet people continue to stay. Because once you experience a climate this comfortable, it's difficult to accept anything less. Santa Rosa proves an important point. Perfect weather isn't necessarily rare. Affordable perfect weather is. And that's where the real challenge begins. Number 6. Boise, Idaho. Here's the twist with Boise. It gives you all 4 seasons without turning any of them into a punishment. That sounds cool until you've lived somewhere that absolutely weaponizes weather. Summers are warm but dry. Winters bring snow, but usually not enough to shut down your life. Spring and fall are comfortable and surprisingly consistent. Boise doesn't try to be perfect. It simply avoids being miserable. That's a bigger advantage than most people realize. Over the past decade, the city has exploded in popularity. More people discover the combination of outdoor access, economic growth, and manageable weather. As expected, housing costs followed. Still, Boise remains attractive because of its predictability. Life here follows a rhythm. Seasons change when they are supposed to. Extreme weather rarely dominates the conversation. Residents spend more time planning activities and less time being around climate disasters. The downside? Some people find Boise almost too stable. It isn't flashy. It doesn't constantly demand attention. But for many residents, that's exactly the appeal. While other cities make weather feel like a battle, Boise quietly gets out of the way and lets you live your life. Number 5. Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville feels like someone carefully adjusted the climate settings until they landed on something close to ideal. Nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains, the city enjoys mild winters, comfortable summers, and some of the most beautiful seasonal transitions in the country. Summer temperatures stay far more manageable than much of the southeast thanks to the higher elevation. Winters are cool without becoming brutal. Spring arrives with an explosion of color, while autumn transforms the surrounding mountains into one of the most famous fall landscapes in America. The weather alone would make Asheville attractive, but the scenery elevates it to another level. Every season feels intentional. Every month offers something different without becoming extreme. Of course, there are trade-offs. Housing prices have risen sharply as more people discover the area. Tourism can create crowds during peak seasons, and job opportunities aren't as abundant as larger metropolitan areas. Yet many residents consider those sacrifices worthwhile. Asheville delivers a rare combination of natural beauty and climate comfort that few cities can match. It feels like a place designed for people who actually want to spend time outdoors year-round. Number 4. San Luis Obispo, California. This is where things start getting unfair. San Luis Obispo consistently appears on lists of the world's best climates, and after looking at the numbers, it's easy to understand why. Summers are warm but rarely scorching. Winters are mild. Humidity remains comfortable. Sunshine is abundant. Ocean influences help smooth out temperature extremes throughout the year. Many days feel almost suspiciously perfect. Residents often joke that weather forecasts become boring because they are nearly identical week after week. You wake up, step outside, and chances are the conditions feel pleasant. That's not something most cities can claim. The challenge is obvious. People know how good it is. Housing costs are high. Competition for homes remains intense. The cost of living reflect the fact that you're essentially paying for climate luxury. But unlike some expensive cities, San Luis Obispo gives you a clear reason for the premium. The weather genuinely delivers. It's not marketing. It's reality. For those who can afford it, few places offer such a consistently comfortable experience. Living here feels like finding a loophole in nature's usual rules. Number 3. Honolulu, Hawaii. Most people assume Hawaii belongs at the top of every weather ranking, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. Honolulu enjoys warm temperatures throughout the year, steady ocean breezes, and remarkably small seasonal variation. Winter feels like summer in many parts of the world. Summer feels like a slightly warmer version of winter. The climate stays comfortable enough that residents rarely need to think about it. Beaches remain usable year-round. Outdoor activities never really stop. The ocean constantly moderates temperatures, preventing major extremes. Yet paradise isn't perfect. The cost of living is among the highest in the United States. Housing is expensive. Everyday goods often cost more due to the island location. Some people also find the lack of seasonal variation surprisingly repetitive after several years. But when your worst weather day would qualify as a beautiful day almost anywhere else, it's difficult to complain too much. Honolulu offers a lifestyle where climate becomes one less problem to solve. And that's an incredibly powerful advantage. Number 2, San Diego, California. This is the city almost everyone expects to see. And for good reason. San Diego's climate has become legendary. Average temperatures remain comfortable throughout the year. Humidity stays manageable. Rainfall is limited. Extreme heat and extreme cold are both uncommon. It's one of the few places where weather forecasts often look almost identical for weeks at a time. The city benefits from a rare balance. Warm enough for beaches, cool enough for comfort, sunny enough to boost your mood without constantly overwhelming you. Residents often joke that they stopped checking the weather years ago because it barely changes. Of course, this level of climate perfection comes at a price. Housing costs are extremely high. Competition for desirable neighborhoods remains intense. Living here requires accepting that weather quality has become part of the local economy. But millions of people continue making that calculation and deciding it's worth it. Because once you experience year-round comfort at this level, almost everywhere else starts feeling like a compromise. And yet, despite all of that, one city still manages to take the top spot.